Hello everyone, this is session 9 of the chapter Moving Charges and Magnetism. Today we are going to discuss about the circular current loop as a magnetic dipole. Circular current loop as a magnetic dipole. We have already discussed in our previous sessions that a circular current loop acts as a dipole. If I have a circular current carrying coil or a loop, so this is the direction of the current, then this circular loop is going to act like a dipole. It has both north as well as south poles. So if I have the direction of the current which is clockwise, so here you can see the direction of current is clockwise. If the current is in the clockwise direction, then we are going to consider it as south pole. This is south pole. And if the direction of the current is counterclockwise, this is anti-clockwise direction. In this case, we are going to take the direction of the current as north pole. The direction of current is anti-clockwise, then the pole will be north pole, and the direction of current is clockwise, then the pole will be south pole. So if we have a current carrying loop, a current carrying conductor which is circular, then the direction of the current will tell us what is the pole of that current carrying loop. So a current carrying conductor just acts like a dipole. If this is the current carrying conductor, and if I say the current is flowing in this direction, so this direction is clockwise for you, but it is anti-clockwise for me. That means the clockwise direction represents the south pole of the magnet, whereas the anti-clockwise direction represents the north pole of the magnet. So for you, the pole which is towards you is south pole, and for me it is north pole. That is how we say that a current loop just acts like a magnet. If I consider a current carrying conductor, and the current in this conductor is somewhat like this, in this direction, anti-clockwise direction. This is the center, I am name it as O, and R is the radius of this circular loop, and this is the axis, that is which is perpendicular to this loop. That is, the loop is facing me and I am going to consider an axis. So this is the axis, and we will say there is some point P somewhere here on the axis, and this distance from the center of the loop to the point is taken to be x. I want to find what is the magnetic field at this point on the axis of a current carrying loop. This we have already derived using Biot-Savart law. We have already found what will be the magnetic field at that point P, which is at a distance x from the center of the loop using Biot-Savart law. Here T is silent, so we say Biot-Savart law. So what was the magnetic field expression we got? That B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2 pi I r square by x square plus r square whole power 3 by 2. This is what the expression we got. Mu naught by 4 pi is constant. 2 pi I is the current in this loop. R is the radius of the loop. Divided by x is the distance from the center of the loop to the point. Plus r square whole power 3 by 2. Now let me consider x is very much greater than r. That is, the point P is at a very large distance. So when x is very greater than r, I can neglect this r square. R square can be neglected. B will be equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2 pi I r square. I am just going to remove this r square. This r square remains the same, divided by x square whole power 3 by 2. This 2 and 2 gets cancelled. You will get x cube here. Now this b can also be written as mu naught by 4 pi 2 into. Now tell me, what is pi r square? Pi r square is nothing but the area of this circular loop. Therefore, I can substitute pi r square as a into I divided by x cube. Next, if this current loop is considered to be a magnet, that is, it is going to just act like a magnet with dipoles, then it does have a magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment, which is denoted by the letter m, and it is equal to I into A. And what will be the direction of this dipole moment? The direction of the dipole moment can be found using the right hand curl rule, where you say curl your fingers in the direction of the current, then your thumb gives the direction of the dipole moment. So you are just going to curl your fingers in the direction of the current, and your thumb will indicate the direction of the dipole moment. Now dipole moment is given by the formula I into A. So I can just substitute here the I into A as m. Therefore, the final magnetic field expression can be written as mu naught by 4 pi 2 I into A is nothing but m divided by x cube. So we have written the magnetic field expression on a point which is on the axis of the circular current carrying loop as equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2m by x cube. In terms of magnetic dipole moment, we have written this expression. Now if you just go back to electrostatics, where you derive the expression for electric field in an electric dipole along the axis of the electric dipole, the expression is given as E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p by x cube, where this p is nothing but the electric dipole moment. Now if you compare these two expressions, they are very similar to each other. Now from this we have proved that the magnetic field of a current loop on the axis, a point on some axis of a current carrying loop, is just same as the electric field of an electric dipole along its axis. Next topic we are going to discuss is the magnetic dipole moment of a revolving electron. Let us consider the case of an hydrogen atom. If this is the nucleus with one proton and this is the electron which is revolving around the nucleus. As you know, the nucleus is positively charged and electron is negatively charged, and the electron is revolving around this nucleus. Let me say this is the direction of revolution of the electron, and the distance between the nucleus of this atom and the electron is taken to be some small r. Then, as you know, the movement of electron constitutes current. So what's happening here is the electron is revolving around this nucleus. So the motion of electron constitutes current. Can I consider this case as the case of a current loop? Yes, definitely yes, because the electron is in motion around the nucleus. So the movement of this electron will constitute some current I, and this current I will be in the direction opposite to the movement of the electron. So if I say the electron is revolving in this direction, then the current in this loop will be in the opposite direction. So the current is constituted in the opposite direction. So the direction of current here should be taken direction which is opposite to the movement of the electron. So this is just similar to a current carrying loop, circular current carrying conductor. the electrons are revolving around the nucleus and it is constituting some current. Let me say the current is I. And if there is current in any conductor, we say it produces magnetic field, and a circular current carrying conductor which is producing magnetic field just acts like a magnet with dipole. So, I can just relate this to a circular current carrying conductor. Now, if I say this is having dipole, then what is the dipole moment? The dipole moment is given by the formula I into A, and the direction of the dipole will be found using the right hand curl rule. So, we can find the direction of the dipole moment using right hand curl rule, where I say the direction of current is opposite to the direction of electron. So, this is what the direction of the current is. Then my thumb indicates the direction of the dipole moment. So, the dipole moment here is inwards. Therefore, I will write it as into and mu L. Here mu L is the dipole moment, magnetic dipole moment. The dipole moment of an electron is the sum of orbital magnetic moment and spin magnetic moment. Now here I am just going to consider the orbital magnetic moment, which is mu L. So why we are taking magnetic moment as mu L here? That is because we are considering the electron's orbital magnetic moment, and therefore this is mu L. And the direction of mu L is into, it is inwards, and mu L is equal to I into A. Now, as I told you, the electron is revolving around the nucleus and it constitutes current. So, what is current? Current is Q by T, charge by time. In this case, the charge on an electron is E. Therefore, I can write this as E by T. I am going to consider capital T, where T is the time taken for the revolution, one revolution. So, E by T. What is T? T is equal to, we know the formula, velocity is equal to distance by time. So, time is distance by velocity. So, time is equal to, what is the distance travelled by the electron in one revolution? It is 2 pi r divided by the velocity. Now, substitute this here, you are going to get the current is equal to EV by 2 pi r. Substituting the value of T to this I am going to get EV by 2 pi r. And as discussed, the dipole moment in this case is perpendicular to the board and it is inwards. And the dipole moment is given by the formula mu L is equal to I into A, where A is the area of this loop, current loop. So, this will be equal to, what is I? We have already found the value of I to be EV by 2 pi r, and area is pi r square. So, pi and pi gets cancelled, r and the square gets cancelled. So, the magnetic moment is EV r by 2. This is the value of the orbiting magnetic moment, or you can also add some more things here. So, next I am going to multiply this and divide it by the mass of the electron. The mass of the electron, which I have denoted as me here. So, this will be equal to, mu L is equal to E into me Vr divided by 2me. So, me Vr is nothing but the formula for angular momentum. The angular momentum L is given by the formula mvr. So, substituting mvr as L, the angular momentum, this formula mu L will be equal to E into L divided by 2me. Or if I write this mu L in vector form, this will be equal to minus EL divided by 2me. That is, the negative sign indicates that the direction of mu L and L are opposite to each other. So whatever the direction of mu L is, in this case the direction of mu L, that is the orbiting magnetic moment, is perpendicular to the board and inwards, then angular momentum will be perpendicular to the board and outwards. They both are opposite to each other. The directions of mu L and L are opposite. That is what this negative sign tells us. Now I can also write this as mu L by L is equal to E by 2me, where E is the charge of the electron. E is the charge of the electron, which is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. And m is the mass of the electron. Me, which is the mass of the electron, is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. Just substituting the values of E and Me, I am going to get a formula or the value which is a constant 8.8 into 10 power 10 coulomb per kg. This is what the value I am going to get if I substitute for E and Me. And this value is called as gyromagnetic ratio, which is nothing but the ratio of mu L to L, and this value is a constant. The angular momentum can take up a set of discrete values, and it is given by L is equal to NH by 2 pi, where N is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. So if you substitute N as equal to 1, 2, 3, you are going to get a set of discrete values, and this condition is called as Bohr quantization condition. And substituting this L in this formula, I am going to get mu L is equal to E by 2me into, in place of L, I will write NH by 2 pi, and this will be equal to NEH by 4 pi me. This is what mu L will be. Now if I substitute N as equal to 1, then mu L will be equal to EH by 4 pi me. The value of H is nothing but the Planck's constant, and its value is given as 6.626 into 10 power minus 34 joule second. Now if you substitute the value of H, E and Me, this mu L is found to be equal to 9.27 into 10 power minus 24 ampere meter square. This is what the value of mu L is, and this is nothing but written as mu B is the Bohr magneton. This is called as Bohr magneton. In case of Bohr magneton, you are going to take the principal quantum number n as equal to 1, then mu B will be equal to EH by 4 pi me. And if you substitute these values, whatever you are going to get, the value is a constant, and this itself is the Bohr magneton. From this we have seen that an electron which is revolving around the nucleus just acts as a magnetic dipole. So this is the end of the class. In the next session we are going to study about the moving coil galvanometer. Thank you.